You guys asked for this. Tool? Yeah, I've never, ever heard of any Tool's music. I know the name, but I do not know the music. What is going down, world? Welcome to the 40-year-old FUQ Boys podcast. I go by the name Black Pegasus.
And it's your boy, Don Wannabe, back in the house once again. I just find it almost shocking that you don't know this song simply because this came out like in the MTV heyday.
Yeah.
When we were watching MTV, and you just like, if you watched MTV, I just don't know how you could not like hear this song.
Okay,
and it has like one of those riffs to me, like even though I'm not into at the time, especially I wasn't into this type of music, like this riff is just like so iconic in my mind.
It's so funny. It's funny because even listening to it at the beginning, I was just like, oh, this is exactly why I didn't listen to it. Because like I'm one of these people, like Blink 182 caught my attention. Rage Against the Machine caught my attention. Limp Bizkit, even Incubus. But then there's certain stuff like the Deftones just didn't. I was like, I don't get it. Like, you know what I mean? I'd see part of the video and I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know. It's just, and then again, I'm not a rock kid or, you know, so like there just has to be something to it to bring me in. But now that I'm older, I listen to these things for different reasons. So yeah, I've heard the name Tool. You know, everyone on the channel, yo, you got to check them out. We're doing the lyric video.
Bro, people love them. Like some of my, like Cuban Connection that's been on our podcast. It's been a while, but like he loves Tool. I think he asked me the other day, he's like, have you guys ever done any reactions to Tool? And I'm like, no, we haven't. And like people that I know and respect and are, you know, are friends, like love Tool because they say the music is just like so deep and complicated from the like orchestration of it to like the lyrics. So it is kind of wild. Like I just never went down the pathway. But for me, I just listened to hip hop just like you for the longest time. And it was because of certain people in my life. Like you used to work with Claudia, my roommate, and Jill, my other roommate, and they had very eclectic tastes that were more rock. So like, for instance, like Radiohead. And then, you know, my ex was really into Radiohead. And so like these certain bands that like, they had that song Creep that was really big, right? But that's all I ever knew. And then just through being in the house with these ladies, like I would listen to it and I was like, shit, it started growing on me. And I just like realized like, damn, it's just like an acquired taste, I think. Yeah. Like you have to like let it like soak into you because it is so different from what we listen to.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, let's dive into it, you guys. Sheesh, don't forget to like, share, and comment on all the content. If you rock with the vibe, subscribe. Let's get started. 40-year-old boys are back in town. 40. The boys are back in town. 40-year-old boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. 40-year-old FUQ Boys podcast. Malt liquor for your ears. 40. All right, you guys, let's get into this. Let me pull the logo down, pull the video up. Don't forget, I just dropped a new music video, Space Invaders. It's on the channel. Help me get that to 10,000 views and up. Support the original content the same way you do these reactions. Let's get into this. This is my first time ever hearing or watching anything from Tool. Now, I could not react to the actual music video, so hopefully there's no love lost there because it's blocked, and I'm just not trying to deal with copyright strikes and all that nonsense that YouTube hits you with. So we're doing Tool Sober, the lyric video, and I also felt like maybe I could, everyone says they're so deep, so I was like, maybe I'll be able to digest the lyrics a little bit better this way. So here we go. This is Tool Sober. Let go.
because the sun has come. Jesus wants us back and wrestle. Something when the past is done. Jesus wants us back and wrestle. Something when the past is done. Why can we not be so?
What did he just say about my Lord and Savior?
I don't know if these lyrics are clearing anything up for me. I think I'm more confused now that I'm
He's
reading
like a
them.
stalking butler. Like, why is a butler stalking?
Yeah.
Because a butler is serving people.
Yeah.
He's always there. He's serving. I don't get it. People are like, bro, went over your head. Yeah, it sure did. It sure did. And why is Jesus whistling? What? And he says the Son has come. So the Son of God, right? Jesus.
Maybe.
Yo, this is encrypted. Maybe that's why people like it. I need to do. Is there a Tool decoder ring? That's
what we need. I think it's at the bottom of a box of Cracker Jacks.
I'm just like, yo, son.
I got my Tool decoder ring.
This is wild. So,
but I mean, it could be like, just like the, Jesus line is just like kind of like, why? Like, give me a sign that you're there.
Won't you effing whistle?
Yeah.
Yeah, just let me know that you're actually real. Okay, yeah, I could see
that's
that.
what I'm taking from it, personally.
I enjoy the music more so as we got into it. I was like, yo, this is actually pretty dope.
I mean,
there's like this
guitar riffs are crazy.
There's like this build up. I'm like, okay. But the lyrics got me off because it was like, dun, 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 dun. I was like, okay. And dun, dun, dun. And I'm also used to conventional rhyming, like very linear style, because that's my style.
Yeah.
And I started appreciating like where he's going. It's like poetry, but it's like I don't know. But I'm just trying to understand what is going on with the lyrics a little bit more, because it lost me at first. But all right, let's go. Frick it. Tool, sober. There's something with the poetry that kind of contradicts, so maybe I'm trying to, I don't know, man. I'm lost. I am actually really lost with these lyrics, because he's saying, why can't we be sober? And for some reason, when he says that, for me, I'm just like, well, we can. Like, so I'm like, okay, let me get into what's he saying here. He's like, why can't we be sober? Then he's like, why can't we drink forever? And it's interesting because there's sometimes I'll tell you, I'm like, why can't we just eat pizza and cheeseburgers and be bodybuilders?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't it be so epic if that's how the world works? But it's not. You got to eat fruits, vegetables, animal-based diet. And so it's almost saying like when I say those type of things, I'm thinking like, oh, I'm almost saying like, why does the world have to have balance? Because really all that's happening is balance is coming in this moment where, no, you can't always indulge in what tastes amazing. You know what I'm saying? So balance is there. So I'm wondering if maybe he's alluding to some sort of balance, like, why can't we be sober? Why can't we drink forever? Well, it's because balance. Like, that's why you can't do either.
Yeah, I don't know his story. Like, I've heard Maynard on like the Rogan podcast.
That's his name?
Yeah, and he owns like a winery.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's.
So this is just a wine commercial.
That's pretty much why.
He's just
why can't we just drink
wine
forever? Yeah. So I don't know if he's like, if this is really a song about like addiction, or if he's ever struggled with it like that. But I mean, I've had some ups and downs in my life with this, and when he says that line, like, why can't we not be sober? It kind of cuts kind of deep, because like I can relate to that feeling of being like, God, why can't I just like stop this path that I'm on?
Yeah. But then he says, why can't we drink forever?
Because that's what the balance is of somebody who struggles with addiction, is that you like want to quit, but at the same time, if you really wanted to quit, you would quit.
Yeah.
So there's that like thing of like, why, you're chasing a feeling. That's what it is. You're chasing this feeling. And what I realized, this was like a huge thing for me in my drinking. What I realized is that I was using alcohol to be present because I have, I have all these stresses that go on in my life and all these things that I'm doing. And then when I'm just trying to interact with my friends, I'm not there in the moment because I'm thinking about this thing that happened at work or all these things that I'm juggling or these, things in my past that I hadn't dealt with. Right. Yeah. And I'm like, why would I do this? I hate the way that I feel in the morning. Like, like 3-day hangovers sometimes after nights of partying. So I'm being depressed the next day. And I'm like, why would I continually, put myself in a position to where I'm feeling like shit and I'm depressed for 3 days. Yeah. And then I realized, just to finish that point, is that the reason that I was doing it is because in that moment, when I start drinking, I forget about all of the things that are going on and I can just be present with my friends or sometimes even with my family. I hate to say it, but it's like I'm at the barbecue or we're cooking dinner and I'm drinking wine and I forget about all that stress that I'm dealing with, the lack of money, the whatever it is that I'm dealing with. And it's like, okay, now I'm just here laughing and smiling with my friends or with my family in this moment.
It's weird because as you say all that, it's like I just don't get it. And then I was like, how can I understand this? Because I've never had substance abuse. But then I was like, well, I'm addicted to other things. So I was like, the worst thing in my life was probably like womanizing, right? Like being with women, right? Yeah. So I was just thinking like putting those lyrics there. Why can't I not, have SE with you? Why can't I F all the women in the world? Do you know what I'm saying? That's how I had to put it because it's weird because it's so weird because I started to realize you had this deep connection to it. And I'm listening. That's why I was like, yo, I didn't want to stop you. So that's my bad. I'm just over here like, oh,
how can I relate? Because you can't relate because you don't drink and you've never been,
Right. And I've never even been drunk in my life.
Yeah.
So I just don't get it totally. But that's the thing I did abuse in my life in the sense of like not having discipline in my life was with women. Like I'm pretty disciplined in most aspects of my life. But I would say at one point in my life, eating junk food, I wasn't disciplined within women. That's like the big things. Like women and pornography was a very problematic in my life, super problematic. It's interesting because, now putting that, I was like, okay, I can see that. But then I felt like as deep as you went, you're like, yo, like how many things it took from your life in the sense of like, it just, I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's interesting. So, all right, here we go, you guys. Tool sober. People are like, bro, I need to
Ramble City.
Who cares? I mean, they put us in front of a damn song with lyrics you got to interpret like this. What? I'm just gonna vibe to it, and not try to understand it. The fuck? You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
This is what you asked for. This is what you asked for.
What
people.
You asked for.
You're getting what you asked for.
Kind of cryptic.
I'm just a worthless liar. I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you. Trust in me and fall as well. I will find a center in you. I will chew it up and leave. I will work to elevate you, just enough to bring it down. Mother Mary, won't you whisper something but the past is done? Mother Mary, won't you whisper something but the past is done? Why can't we not be sober? I just want to start this over. Why can't we sleep forever? I just want to.
So yeah, man, like, I've had some dark points in my life and, I don't know. It's weird because I haven't really listened to this song and who knows? And I don't think I really listened to it back then.
Yeah.
Like
we're reading the lyrics. This is why I pulled up the lyrics. Cause it's like, it gets it intimate. Like when you can read the lyrics, it's different than when, like if I would have heard this, his vocals are under the track.
Yeah.
It takes more to make it out for me.
Yeah.
So reading the lyrics, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm over here deciphering what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm just saying that, like, this type of music isn't what I was attracted to, especially at that time in my life.
Okay, gotcha.
So, like, hip hop music I would listen to over and over and over again and get the message and know all the lyrics. So I just never stopped to truly listen to this song.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm listening to it now, I'm like, damn, man, this is like super relevant, especially when I think about that, certain time in my life, when I was really going crazy, drinking all the time and just like all of that. And that line, I just want to start this over. Like I had these moments in life where I thought about, taking that final step, and it was almost just like a video game. Like I just want to start over from scratch. That's what I was thinking about. I just want to hit the reset button because my life is just, so fucked. You know what I mean? To be completely blunt, then I'm just like, how do I even get out of this hole? And I specifically remember like, drinking to the point and then just like laying in bed all day, just being like, I just would, not even sleeping, but just like wishing I could just sleep just forever and just like not get out of bed, just like not wanting to get out of bed because I felt like, trash from drinking, but then also trash with all the other stuff that was in the background, right? That I was trying to block out with the drinking. And it's just like all there the next morning and you're just left with like being massively hungover, whatever other things that I did, plus the, all the other stuff that wasn't dealt with that I was trying to run away from.
Yeah.
And just feeling like I just wish I could just close my eyes and not wake up.
Yeah, man. It's interesting because if that was the point of what what you were saying, or the point you caught, where he's like, show me there's a sign with the Jesus part and then the Mary part. It's almost like, show me a sign that you exist, in the sense, because I need help. Yeah. I need help because I really need to start things over. And without something, like, it's just like I feel like I can't stop. And I just want to dive into, why can't I just do this forever? Matter of fact, like, I know I need to start this over, but F it. Why can't we do it forever? But it's interesting. So it's going in a lot of different places. Yeah,
the Mary, whisper, like that's what I'm taking from it. It's like, show me a sign that there's a light at the end of this tunnel. Yeah. Something to hold on to.
Yeah, this is very unique song too. It's weird because it's like almost self-deprecating when he's like, I'm a liar, I'm an imbecile. Like, me personally, I stray away from.
So this is why I was not attracted, and even to this day, like I think I'm more in touch with this now.
Yeah, because you can look and be like, I was being this way.
Yes, exactly. But, and I recognize that there was a degree and still is of like self sabotage that I still fight with to this day, right? And the difference was that the reason why I was into hip hop is because I channeled these feelings into anger. And so there was an expression of anger, whether you like it or not, I think, in hip hop that spoke to me. And I felt that that's how that is literally how I processed, these feelings, was through a path of like anger and like lashing out at the world. And so I didn't, that self-deprecation I wasn't into. You know what I mean?
That's where the art lies, because it's interesting because so many people can relate to this. This is probably why they love it so much. But as someone like me, I'm not saying I'm just like super, like I've been into like, like Think and Grow Rich type stuff. So, and I've always beat myself up like, oh, what are people thinking of me? Oh, am I this? Am I that? So I personally stay away from even dialogues. Right when I heard I'm a liar, I'm an imbecile, my mind started to shut off. Then I was like, no, just listen to what he's trying to convey here, because I have to block it out, because I'm one of the people who I treat myself like that. I'm like, oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you're not this. And I have to fight this war within my mind to be like, no, you are good enough. You're worthy. The other thing is, one of the things I learned later in life, you have to take moments of your life to recognize your greatness to become greater. If you don't take a moment to recognize that you are great, you will never become greater. You will never grow. And taking that time to be grateful, have gratitude, and realize that you are a genuine, unique, authentic person. That's how you grow, and that's how you become greater. And some people are like, oh, that's arrogance. That's this, that, the other. But it's just not. That's just how it works. And
well, you have to acknowledge yourself to some degree, right?
Yep.
You have to take the time to do that. I mean, yeah, it's interesting because once again, like what I did personally, I think was a very detrimental, because it's like, it's one thing, like you see people that are self-destructive, right? And they're self-harming. And there's an aspect of that I was doing, but also like, because I directed into, anger, I actually lashed out against society. I was a problem for the society. I came very close, to being put in jail for the rest of my life, and, doing certain things that would have, ended other people's lives. I mean, let me just be completely frank. And so like, I understand why people would gravitate more towards this, because it's super unhealthy to channel, your feelings in the direction that I did. And it's a detriment to society at large,
All my friends is why I don't drink and do drugs. All of my friends. Because I used to remember we used to go to the fat house. Everyone's drunk. I'm just like I had fun. Everyone's having fun. But I was like, this is not, I was like seeing the outcomes that everyone was facing, from DUIs to this, that, the other. I was like, that doesn't look like fun to me. I'm cool. And so like people are like, well,
dude, one of the most talented.
And I would just sit back and be quiet, like, oh yeah, I'm just not into it, So yeah.
Just a worthless liar. I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you. Trust in me and fall as well. I will find a center in you. I will chew it up and leave. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. Why can we not be so?
Yo, that one part we skipped over for some reason because we got so into the substance abuse part. Was like the effed up relationship, the failed relationship. Like I will put my center in you and then just like F it all up.
Lift you up to tear you down or something. Like, bro, that's that self-destruction. That's that, like, feeling. Dude, go ahead.
No, it just sounds like it honestly sounds like an abusive relationship, and it could stem from having like substance abuse in the relationship, or there's just so many things, but it just sounds like an abusive relationship. And it could go two ways, because you're having like this abusive relationship with a substance because it makes you feel good, it makes you feel better for a moment, and then it leaves you.
I will find a center in you, lift you up, then pull you down. That's like exactly what it is to like be high like that.
Yeah,
like,
and it's almost like the substance is singing to you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And then it's just like, and then at the end he says, I want what I want. And it's actually very cryptic in the sense that it's almost like I could see, like, you know, those pictures from Soft White Underbelly where there's just like an old homeless dude, just like, you know, who's been on crack or whatever. And just like, it seems hopeless. And he's just like, that's when he's like, I want what I want. You know, like some people went through a whole life of this addiction and literally end up in the streets and probably die in the streets. And that end thing saying, I want what I want. That's the vivid picture it gave me. Like, hey, I didn't learn from all these things. These are things I wanted. I wanted to be sober, but I wanted to sleep forever. And then it's just like, I want what I want. Who cares? And then someone's just taking another hit, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah, I mean, what you said about it being like the abusive relationship with the substance, like that really hit home. I was like, damn, yo, that's crazy. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like I said, I've never really listened to this song, like listened to it. And now that I'm listening to it, like I was having a hard time listening to it because it was taking me back to that feeling. Like I've had moments in my life where I was laying there just like, why can't I stop doing this?
Yeah, I'm worthless. I'm in, and you.
Yeah. And like the drinking and all this stuff and just like knowing that I was just massively putting roadblocks in my own life. And like, why can't I stop this? Why can't I stop this? And then the very same day, get up, go and repeat the cycle again, day after day after day. Right. And so listening to the song from that context, I was like, dude, this is hard to listen to because the way that he says that, like, why the emotion in his voice, why while he's singing, why can't we not be sober? I'm just like, dude, I know that. I've woken up and felt that and been like, why can't I stop this?
And what's crazy about what you're saying too is because it's a substance, it is targeted to attack you in these ways where you might need help. Some people, not everyone, like I think there's mental strength. It depends on where you're at in life, but I think sometimes people might need little things to help them because like these chemicals and things are designed for specific things, depending on what you're into, right? Pills, you know, substances, beer, alcohol, whatever it may be. Like, for example, alcohol, from what I've seen, attacks Native Americans different than it attacks, like, let's say a European, which means, you know, substance abuse when you start going into the pills and into the white stuff and into this. So it's like sitting there screaming in your mind, why can't I kind of understand it more because that's why I was so scared to do it. Because I was like, what if I know my personality? You know it.
Yeah.
And what if I couldn't control it?
Yeah.
Where do I end up? I was like, nah, Dewey, you don't want none of this.
I never knew either of my grandfathers, but my grandfather on my mom's side died of cirrhosis of the liver, a severe alcoholic his whole life. My aunt, my mom's twin, looks like she's 30 years older than her because she's been a severe, you know, drug user.
Yep.
Big part of my family has gone to prison because of drugs and alcohol and, you know, being involved in biker gangs and stuff like that. My other aunt died under a bridge of alcoholism. So it's like been a massive problem in my family. Like, you know, but you know, one of the things I was thinking about is just like, we were joking around. We did a reaction to, what was the band that we just did? The Cousins, Kissing Cousins.
Oh, Deep South.
Deep South, right? And I was joking about Ulysses and the Odyssey, right? And I was actually going to say this on the reaction, but I was like, oh, I've already rambled long enough. But one of the stories in the Odyssey, in the Iliad, they have all these, you know, different struggles that they're going through. They have to fight the Cyclops, the sirens. And if you interpret those, it's like there's these women that are calling them in. And they have to fight against the call of these women to get back to his wife. You know what I mean? So if you look at that, there's all these stories about the journeys and they have, you know, a meaning of what it is, the struggle of a man to get home, right? So that's why it's such an amazing, you know, epic poem if you really read into it. But one of the things that's very interesting about that story is they get caught on an island of the lotus eaters. And the lotus is the opium poppy. That's what they're talking about. And his men are just in this dream state, in this wonderland all day. And he has to like shake them up. We have to, you know, wake up from our dream. They're basically drug addicts.
Yeah.
So think about this story as thousands of years old, and even at that time they were struggling with addiction, well, so it's wild.
It's because human nature is human nature to go towards things that bring pleasure and less pain. That's what our technology is. Technology brings us instant gratification, pleasure, and less pain, but there's a beauty in the pain we go through. So we need to, this is why this toxic stuff comes online, because working out is painful. Eating healthy is painful. Doing certain things can be painful, but there's also that balance. Goes back to what I was talking about when he was saying some of the stuff. The balance is having that balance is the key to being healthy at some capacity.
Absolutely. I'm glad we did this reaction. It's so funny because I was low-key talking at SHIT before
Me too.
the
I was
reaction.
just like, we'll see.
Because I had a totally different remembrance of the song, and I was like, what is there really going to be to talk about? Because I just never really listened to it like that. That's so wild. I've heard it so many times, and this is the first time that I really listened with the, that take to really get the vibe of the song. And I'm like, damn. Me
never hearing it at all. When you were saying that, I was like, man, this is the end of because we're finishing up doing reactions because we record in block times. I was like, do I really want to do this? The last reaction we do of the day. And now I'm like, this was a dope conversation.
Yeah, so absolutely. I had no idea that this is what this song was going to bring out of me personally. And I enjoy having these conversations and delving into these subjects because, that's what's so amazing about music to me is how it can touch on these subjects on such a deep level and capture, for me, not a good time in my life, but capture, the suffering, the joy, the love, the beauty of life, everything in between.
Yep. You guys, let us know what you thought of this reaction. What did we miss? What went over our head? Did we hit it dead on? What did Tool do for you? Just in general, was it something moving? What made you gravitate to the band?
Is there a lighter song we could react to? Something maybe a little bit more uplifting, perhaps.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, you guys, let us know. Like, share, and comment on all the content. Subscribe to the channel. You know what it is.
Do you know what his other band's name is?
I didn't know yet.
I think he's got
anything about him or them.
So Maynard, I think, has a band called Pussifer.
Oh.
Like Lucifer and Puss mixed together, Pussifer. Anyways.
Oh, I thought, okay, sorry. I'd be waiting for the punchline.
There's no punchline.
What you were going to say is, actually, I'm tripping. He has uplifting music.
Yeah. No. I'm just and I've never listened to anything from Pussifer.
Oh, that's actually a pretty clever name. Though.
It is.
That's pretty clever.
I thought you might get a little chuckle. That was the punchline.
See, when I'm waiting for it, then I miss them sometimes because I was
man.
oh.
It's okay. It wasn't necessarily a joke. I was just
Does he have anything more upbeat? All right, you guys. 40.
Thank you for being some man. 40 years down the road, back again. FUQ boy.